the ball in his hands.
You can absolutely play that position at that size. You look at Deuce McBride for the New York Knicks, who took
Southern California, does a great job with the team. Why not? There's so many of these in club circuit, whether it's there, whether it's the Adidas Gauntlet, or whether it's the Pro 16. The way the system is structured right now, these kids do get to play against some of the best in the country, sometimes even the world, at a very
but it also
young.
stunts them to an extent because they all become friends.
Yeah.
And they don't often compete
Older guys,
against their.
they're so old because they had the COVID year. They've been in their college.
1 or 2 years of college, maybe if they've been in the G League, there's going to be a pro, and there will be somebody out here that becomes that. But what I have seen,
He hasn't officially said it, but I think he is very committed to this process. And a lottery pick? No. Necessarily a future all-star? Probably not. But listen, it's going to be important for him to show better than that. I'm sure.
How adaptable he is to whatever schemes they have out there, what type of person he is within that locker room, because the reality is he's going,
and there's somewhat of an unrealistic expectation. But how Bronny managed that, to me, was super impressive.
I think as a role player, is there 1 or 2 things you can do really well, right? If you do 5 or 6 things really well, you might be at the next level, and what I think they'd hoped it was going to be at USC last year. Wrote about it, and he said it is not a priority. And workouts and a chance to sit and visit with him. Is there an organization that has a plan, that has a development? LeBron wants Bronny to be his own man.
Good play. Touch pass. He showed some versatility. He was a transfer from Missouri State. You see with some of the top prospects here.
And the European influence with that behind-the-back pass. You've been watching a lot of Joker running down the lane.
That there's something here, but he wasn't playing at a level, and then all of a sudden he started to go to some regional tournaments. And
is it anything that's not a glorified
of the game? A nice drive, shifted the weight of the defensive player, and then looked to attack that seam. Off touch in the middle of the lane. And we talked about the size of 6'1.5". One of the things differential, you have to actually allows him to get that shot off, actually allows him defensively to continue to impact the game.
I didn't really get to see him play like that, but you hear all the noise and things like that. So
the origin there, Wheeler High School. All right, some stars have come out of Wheeler.
The G League. When you were in New Jersey, Brooklyn, you're not asking him to come play that role. You're asking him to come defend, rebound.
Andrews winning 89-81. Hopefully we have a player over the game. Very
ball. This is where they're going to put Bronny James. They want him in the point guard.
A couple years ago, as far as really had a solid 2 days here and wound up getting drafted in the early part of the
point guard. There's one thing when it comes to a setting like this, and you all know it well. Don't do what you can't do. Do what you do well.
It's special. And that hurts them, I think, in this process.
Absolutely. Uncle John once told me they don't know what you don't know unless you tell
this year. And I think one of the things that stood out most to me was the unselfishness and the ball movement that UConn had.
But he's a guy that knows that he would have to take a long route to get there. But Pat, his older brother, actually got a two-way this year in this draft.
Let me ask you this, Bobby, from an executive perspective. Like when there's such limited film, there's not.
I was a star my entire life. In my first game in San Antonio, I never took my warm-up off.
LeBron James Jr., LeBron James Sr., and the Lakers have a few things. 2024 NBA Draft Combine. A lot of guys out here working in the scrimmage.
Bill's doing everything, and with all the great guys that are here, the great players, and then it's everything. Just continuing to stay in the gym, stay in
John
shape.
Calipari come through. Now with Mark Pope coming back to Kentucky, are you going to be that bridge that brings the old with the new? Because you're going to have that separation of Cal guys and now the old guys coming back in with Mark Pope.
My time with Kentucky was unbelievable. Having the opportunity is crazy, and it's really, really cool. So it's like
we'll see you around. Keep growing that stash out.
Yep.
All right, let's get back to some game action.
Guard, pick and roll.
One of the things with Reed Shepard, who just joined us.
After this game, it just really stands out how all the best players on the floor are older guys, late with his reads. The playmaking isn't there. They're playing him a little bit at point guard, and he's not comfortable.
He needs to go back to college. And he needs to find a college that is going to put